Hello amazing people. Today I'm going to show you how I created this amazing geometry loop animation with just simple steps and keyframe animation like scale and position. You can play with different shapes and keep on loop. So let's start. So as you can see, I already opened an After Effects and I created a pre-com. So let's say I have taken a pre-comp of full HD 1920 by 1080 24 fps and I'll rename it geometry loop and I'll hit OK, and then I'll create some shapes like 4 circles, and I'll move the anchor point the center of the circle and I'll rename it circle underscore 01, and I'll duplicate it and keep it in equal distance. I'll duplicate both and I'll move shift to the right side and I'll keep it on center, and I'll create another scene. Let's rename it scene 01, and I'll duplicate this and it automatically creates scene number 2, and I'll double click it and I'll delete all the layers and I'll create a big circle, maybe this much, and I'll move the anchor point in center of the circle and I'll duplicate it and shift to the right side. Here I'll rename it like a big circle and then go 01, so big circle 02. I'll duplicate this and rename it small circle underscore 01, and I'll decrease the size of the circle and move to the left side. Yep. And I'll duplicate this and move to the right side. Yep. And then I'll change the color of the layer, maybe yellow, and close the fill color, keep it as a red for now. I'll select the S for scale and I'll break the uniform and I'll increase the y-axis like this, and I'll duplicate this small circle, move the anchor point to the right edge, and I'll increase the size of the circle, and I'll close the fill and activate the stroke like this, and so I did the same thing on the right hand side and I split and or rename all the layers in a perfect way. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create and add some colors. So as you can see, I already have one layer color code. If you want, I can add the color code in the description. First we're gonna take one background, PG, take a fill and take a yellow color. For circle, I'm gonna take the pink one and I'll copy this fill effect and I'll paste in the remaining circles. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use one script, and this script is free. You can use this script whenever you want and whatever the place you want to use, and I have added the link in the description, so go and use it. So the script called inner shadow, I'll change the direction. You have to maintain the blending mode to dissolve, just remember, and I'll keep the same color, take little bit on the lighter side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create shadow of this circle. So I'm gonna duplicate and I'll rename this circle 01 shadow. And now I'm gonna delete the layer style and inner shadow, and I'll shift it to the right hand side and the bottom side. Okay, little bit close, this much. I'll take drop shadow and I'll click shadow only. I'll reduce the opacity a little bit soft, and I'll change the color to white. Yes. Then I'll do the same effect in the rest of the 3 circles. So you can see I have created all the circles, and now I'll work on the background. So I'll select the background layer and I'll again take the inner shadow. I'll change the color to white and I'll change the direction. This little bit play with the little bit softness, little bit low opacity. Yep, that's perfect. And now I'll do the same thing in this scene. So once I filled with all the colors, now let's concentrate on the center part. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the both big circles over here and I'll duplicate both the circles and I'll keep it on top. And what we want this intersect part between these both circles. So let's isolate these 2 circles, create a luma. We'll change the color to purple. Then now we're gonna change the blending mode, or we can change the color. Like maybe we can take yellow. Let's change the blending mode, little bit darker. Yes. And we're gonna parent the circle 3 to circle big circle 1 and big circle 4 to big circle 2. So if we move this one, the intersect part will also move. And if we shift the circles big circle 2, the intersect part will also gonna move. And now we're gonna add a circle in the center. Let's keep it on the center. Little bit, let's say 0.2. Yes. Now I'll change the center circle. I'm gonna take a fill effect and I'll choose maybe a pink color, and I'll take inner shadow and I'll change the color to white. Maybe increase the and I'll change the direction, and maybe I'll change the blending mode. Let's say do some experiments. Maybe add, no, maybe overlay a little bit good one. Yes, and I'll increase the opacity of white. Nice one. And now I'm gonna select all the layers except BG. I'll pre-comp all the layers, and let's say Geo Elements. I'm gonna delete the color code layer, and I'm gonna duplicate this pre-comp, and I'll add drop shadow. Little bit more. And I'll change the blending mode to dissolve, and little bit decrease the. So you can see now our scene is ready to go, and let's start the animation. So let's create a one simple animation. I'm gonna go with geometry, scene number 1 and scene number 2. So let's take one pre-comp and let's say geometry loop animation. I'll hit OK, and I'll keep all the pre-comps in one folder. Then I'll take this BG and I'll minimize over here, and I'll copy here because we're gonna use as a common BG. And now we have this string, and now I'll drag scene number 1 to a main comp, which is geometry loop animation, and I'll start the animation. So I'll press P for position animation, and I'll even do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll easy ease, and I'll play with the graph, and now graph should be like this. Yep, perfect. I'll go to the main scene like this, and I'll go to the second scene and I'll do the same kind of animation over here also. So I'll go to the geometry loop animation. I'll go to the geo element pre-comp. First I'm gonna parent this small circles to big circles, small circle 2 to small circle, big circle 2, small circle 1 to big circle 1, and the stroke, even stroke also. So select small stroke 1 to big circle 1, small stroke 2 to big circle 2, big stroke 1 to big circle 1, and big stroke 2 to big circle 2. Let's test. Yep, perfect. So I'll keep the animation, keyframe animation. I'll go to the initial position, I'll go to the frame 0, frame number 1, and I'll shift to the left, right hand side. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll easy ease and I'll play with the graph, just what we did on the scene number 1. And now we're gonna animate the center circle also. Let's keep the anchor part on the center. Let's see. And easy ease, again same graph. And now I'll go to the so let's check where is the peak point of the scene number 1, which is on 1 second. So we have to cut the first scene on this second one, and from here I'll add this. From here I'll add the scene number 2 and I'll cut the first part. Let's see the animation. So over here what I did, I set the scene number 1 as a 2 second of animation, and same exactly the scene number 2 the 2 second of animation. I keep the first one as a half and the second one and the rest of the half, and I'll duplicate both this pre-comp and keep it as an offset, and I'll select both of them. I'll click on time and time reverse layer. I'll switch the scene number 2 second and scene number 1 as up. Okay, properly, and our loop animation is done. Perfect. So by this kind of effect and simple tips and tricks, you can create many kind of shapes and create a loop animation. So see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.